The way you treat yourself changes the way you see yourself. And conversely, the way you see yourself changes the way you treat yourself. And this is something that I've had to really understand throughout my life and has made a huge impact in the way I function and feel throughout my days. I've had to learn the hard way in many cases that the way I treat myself can and will change the way I view myself as a person and my worth and my value. I think it's so important for us to recognize that the things we do, while they might seem innocuous, while they might not seem that big of a deal, often do subconsciously say something to ourselves about how we think we deserve to be treated or the things we deserve to experience. And listen, we're human. It's not about perfection. It's not about doing everything right and having like a 10-step skincare routine or always, making sure you're on your gym routine. Like, it's not really about that, right? Those are great ways to show up for yourself if that's what works for you. But it really depends on you and what you believe shows you that you think you're valuable and worthy to yourself first and foremost. If it's that you recognize you maybe aren't showing up for yourself in many ways, like when it comes to your nutrition, and you know that you tend to eat things that aren't good for you or just don't make you feel good, right? Because I don't even want to put the label of like good and bad on things. It's about how it makes you feel. Maybe it makes your body feel not that great. And it might be comforting. Maybe you have like a comforting relationship with food. Maybe it can help. It's like a coping mechanism at times. Like, I get that, totally. But at the same time, if you notice that it makes you feel a certain way, that is what you're going to believe after a while. If you continue those patterns, that's what you're going to believe you deserve to experience. It changes the way you see yourself as a person to you. And this applies to even objects in your life, right? The things you have that you surround yourself with, how you treat them shows you what you deserve to be surrounded by. It applies to your relationships, the way you treat your relationships, the intention you give them, the respect you give them. All of those things build an image of you in your mind, right? Because all of those are part of you. All of those are part of your life. And I'm not trying to be super intense about this and say that you have to be perfect or you have to always be overthinking or always on your best behavior. I don't mean that. What I mean is approaching yourself and your life with intention and integrity, whatever that looks like for you. It's going to be different for everybody. Making sure that you're treating yourself, the things around you, the people in your life that you want to, associate yourself with intention and integrity, because that will change how you see yourself. And if you change how you see yourself, you're going to change the way you start treating yourself too. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, and those two are inextricably linked. You can't separate them. So it's really important to make sure that you're doing the things that make you feel good about yourself, that make you see yourself in a positive light. That's so important. I don't know if we talk about this enough. And it's something that I've had to really have a sit down conversation with myself about, because it's easier to do the things that are comfortable and sometimes the things that are maybe harmful to ourselves, right? If we've been conditioned to view them as the way to live. If our parents did that, if that's how they showed up for themselves, that's also a big part of this. If you saw your parents showing up for themselves in these ways, you then think like, oh, that's how I have to show up for myself too. That's how we show up for ourselves in this family. And that doesn't have to be true. It really comes down to how you want to see yourself, treating yourself that way. Because the more you treat yourself that way, the more you'll see yourself that way. And it depends on what you want to experience, how you want to see yourself, how you believe you deserve to be seen, not just by others, but by yourself, first and foremost. And then the way you see yourself becomes how other people start to see you. Not all, obviously, you can't control everybody's perception of you. That's not the point of this. But if you start seeing yourself as more worthy, more valuable, more intentional, you start showing up with that energy in your life and with the people around you. And those people start seeing you that way. And again, it's not about changing people's perception of you. It's not about controlling it. And it's not about using their perception of you to feel more valid in yourself. It's about working from the inside out in many cases. And sometimes the outside in. Again, like the way you treat yourself changes the way you see yourself and vice versa. But it really does start with you. So if you are doing things right now in your life that you know are not showing you that you believe you are valuable or worthy, whatever that means for you, it's time to stop doing that. I know, easier said than done. Trust me, I get this. It's, these things are so deeply ingrained in us. These behaviors have been behaviors we've done our entire lives, so it's hard to break out of those patterns and habits. I get that. But remember that it's not respectful towards you to act in those ways when you know that that's how they make you feel about yourself. And you deserve to feel respected by you. Your inner child deserves to feel respected and loved and cared for in a way that makes them feel good. And you are the only person that can do that for your inner child now. You are the only person that has that control and power. And this is not to shame anybody who's in maybe a more harmful cycle in their lives. I get it. I've been there. I still struggle with it. This isn't about perfection. It's about awareness. It's about recognizing when you're doing those things that, oh yeah, see that this behavior right now, I know is going to make me look at myself differently. I know it's going to make me lose a little bit of respect for myself. Not to say that it has to be, ego-based. That's not what we're talking about here. It's how do I make myself still feel worthy of experiencing good things through the actions I take towards myself? Because it's kind of like building evidence, right? Building evidence blocks in your life. The more you show yourself good things, the more you believe you deserve good things, the more good things you show yourself. That's how you build that. It's like a muscle even. You have to create it over time. And the moment you stop doing those things, you start taking those evidence blocks away. And then you start believing the opposite. Oh, I don't deserve that. I don't deserve this because I'm not showing myself that. I'm showing myself lack. I'm showing myself, anger, frustration. I'm showing myself people who don't show up for me. Like, all those things are creating your image of yourself now. You have total control over that, of the way you see yourself. You get to decide how you see yourself. And the way to show you how you want to see yourself or how you want to be seen by yourself is how you treat yourself. So start treating yourself better. Start treating the things in your life better. Start being more mindful about them. Start caring for them the way you would care for a child even, right? For yourself, even as a child. Care for yourself the way you would care for a child. Care for the things in your life the way you would care for as a child. Be comforting. Be kind. Be loving. Show yourself good things. Things that you would want to feel like you are being taken care of. That you are being given the things you need to flourish and grow and feel good. You have to show that to yourself. I know, and it is not easy. Especially when it comes to anything that pushes you out of your comfort zone or creates a bit of temporary discomfort. The first thing that pops to mind, obviously, is like physical exercise. It creates discomfort in the moment. In the long run, though, it is good for you, right? It helps you when it comes to how you age, the way you feel mentally, emotionally, physically, all those things. Not everybody can have like a strict physical workout routine. Some people can't work out at all, and that's totally valid too. This isn't to say that these are the specific things you should be doing, just about what works for you, that you know is what helps you see yourself in a better light. Sometimes those things have temporary discomfort, and sometimes you have to push through that temporary discomfort because you deserve it. You owe it to yourself. You are important to yourself. And so you're going to put yourself in that position to feel a bit of discomfort because in the long run, it's going to make you feel better about yourself. It's going to show you that you believe you're worthy, that you care about yourself. And it's hard. You have to kind of be a parental figure to yourself now. The parental figure that would have to sacrifice some things to make your life better. That's who you have to be for yourself. And it's not easy. It's really hard, especially if you haven't been shown how to do that properly as a child by your own parents in the way that they treated themselves. Like they might have treated you certain ways, but when you watch your parent treat themselves certain ways, that's how you think adults treat themselves or how they should treat themselves. So you start taking that in regardless of if your parent is telling you something different, It's like that saying of, do as I say, not as I do. But it's like, you can't separate the two. You will always watch what your parent does and believe that that's true because actions are just as important as words. So it's up to you now as your own parental figure in your life to show yourself that you believe you are worthy of good things, of feeling good by treating yourself that way, by treating yourself the way you want to see yourself so that you can see yourself in that positive light and then continue to treat yourself positively because that's the point. And that's the only way I think. Again, this is just my own experience, my own thoughts on this, but that's the only way to have a life that feels in some way aligned and authentic and good because there are so many things you can't control. There are so many circumstances that are going to be difficult and painful. Why would you make your life more difficult and more painful with the things that you can control? Why wouldn't you show yourself good things when possible, as a way to help you even battle and combat the things that do happen that you can't control, to give you more strength and resilience in those moments and self-trust to know, oh yeah, I'm going to be there for myself because I'm showing myself that I care about myself. That's why it's really important. And that's how you show yourself that you have your own back, ultimately. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. I hope it was informative. If you want to talk about these topics in more detail with me, feel free to book a one-to-one call. I also am offering webinars on my website. So if you're interested in joining one of those and hearing a more detailed discussion on certain topics, you can join over there. Follow my Substack where I write about these things, and then also follow my social media for all my short form videos. Other than that, thank you for listening, and I'll be back again soon with another episode.